We are now today in the midst of Sierra Morena, which is one of the most important features of Spanish geography, and I wanted to come here to talk about geography as I'm going to start exploring the geography of the Iberian Peninsula through a series of videos as a part of the study of history. And I think the main reason why you should look first into a map in order to study history is because basically the geography of a place determines everything. If you like, when I try to picture all this, I picture it thus. I basically imagine human history as the top of a pyramid, as something that is happening just at the, let's say, at the corner of the whole planet Earth. Think that first of all, this at the base of this pyramid, as I picture it, usually I picture the laws of physics. I picture then on top the material conditions of planet Earth, and I have like two very important aspects here, which is the Coriolis effect, which determines basically the weather patterns of all of planet Earth, and tectonics, which also determines where are the mountains, where are the rivers, where are the valleys, what kind of soil is there in a given place. And basically all weather patterns and all life as sits on top of the soil relies on these forces of nature. So if we don't understand these forces of nature, if we don't understand the weather, if we don't understand something like the kind of chemistry that these soils provides, basically we are ignoring a very basic fact of history. And you may think that well, human history is not happening, it's happening outside the geography, or it's happening, maybe there is some influence, but it's not that much. But it is very important. Just so you can have an idea of how important this thing is. Did you know, for example, that in colder places, hell in religions tends to be depicted as a cold place, while for example, religions coming from the Middle East, as Abrahamic religions, or Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they all depict hell as a warm place, as fire, as warm. While in Viking religion, in Viking worship, usually hell is depicted as as a cold place. Geography, their weather patterns are actually determining their way of thinking. This weather and this geography allows for certain trees to grow, which allows for a certain economy to happen, which determines what is going to happen. We see, for example, why cork has been so important in the Iberian Peninsula. Well, cork is here in the Iberian Peninsula, and it cannot grow anywhere. It can grow here, and the fact that the Iberian Peninsula affords a certain soil and certain vegetation is what determines the economy. Wine, something as basic as the wine, the beer we produce, the wool, the plant, the corks, all the crops that we produce. This all happens. All this economy happens because there is a certain geography. So we are going to explore this geography, because without an understanding of this geography, there is no way to understand the history of the Iberian Peninsula. And this very place, which you see at the background, is a perfect example, because all of the Iberian Peninsula at some point in history looked very much like this. It's only now that we see most of the Iberian Peninsula sort of deserted, which has happened mostly because with modern crops have come modern technology. Modern agriculture has basically reshaped the surface of the Iberian Peninsula all the way from the 50s. But this is what the Iberian Peninsula actually used to look like before modern agriculture. And even in historical sources, we see this depicted very much literally, with, for example, historians like Polybius declaring that a squirrel could get from Cadiz to Barcelona basically without ever touching the ground, because a squirrel could get all the way across the Iberian Peninsula just from tree to tree, which is exactly what you see here. And this is one of the few places where we can actually understand this geography and understand nature as it used to be. We are in the midst of Sierra Morena. We will talk a wee bit more about Sierra Morena in a minute, but I do want to emphasize this idea that without understanding of the basics of geography, weather patterns and physics, there is no way to understand history.